Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Sagittarius is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It's totally free, doesn't cost you anything. If there's anything you need me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Sagittarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And look at that beauty there. That is the sun card. That is enlightenment. That is solar consciousness. That is perception, right? Nothing is hidden from you right now. And this really is, this is the creative power. You know, on this channel, we always talk about fire and earth, fire and earth, fire and earth, as the circuit of creation. Right, as the way of manifestation, from spirit to matter, from above to below, from impulse to behavior, from idea to implementation, right, from will to action. This is that power encapsulated in you, right? This is the creative force in you. This is the sun, right? It is a combination of fire and earth, yeah. Let's put this into some context. What are we doing with all of this creative force? Five of Swords, I wasn't expecting that. The Adjustment or Justice card, the Queen of Pentacles, and a 5 of Wands, all right, a 9 of Wands, there we go with the fire, an Ace of Wands, we're getting back into it, 3 of Cups, 2 of Wands, yep. And the 5 of Cups, though. See, 5 of Heart and Mind, right? What do I say about the circuit of creation, right? Fire to earth. What gets in the way of that? Our heart and our mind, our thinking and our feeling, our swords and our cups. So something's going on in you where you're kind of having doubts. You're having a conflict within you. Maybe there's a crisis of faith. Maybe there is some sort of nostalgia for the past. Maybe there's a longing for something. Maybe we're just kind of, maybe the weather's bad and we're just having one of those days, right? Where we're just thinking of things that we've lost, feeling things that we've lost. Yeah. Do you have a whiteboard in your house? Do you put notes up on a whiteboard, or maybe at work there's a whiteboard? I see you with one of those dry erase markers, just like writing stuff down, pick up the pen again, I feel like right now it's one of those Queen of Pentacle days. It's a rainy day outside and we're just kind of staring out the window like this. Yeah. Just don't feel like doing it. We just don't think we're doing the right thing. We start to doubt ourselves. We start to say, God, I'm no good at this. Trust me, I know that feeling. Some days I wake up and I know I've got to do some tarot readings and I just think, I'm so bad at this, And it just kind of, I'm starting to tear up a little bit. Sometimes it feels that way, And the problem here with the 5, maybe it's not, maybe it's the blessing of the 5 of Swords, is that we can turn this around, and we need to. If we don't, though, we keep telling ourselves, God, I'm bad at this. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm so confused sometimes, I get so many impressions from Spirit and so many messages coming through. Sometimes I can't make heads or tails of it, right? I don't want to stay in this kind of a thought process. I don't want to engage in this internal dialogue for too long, because then that will be reality, right? We're trying to be this creative sun, and we're experiencing the resistance of the heart and mind. There's just some stuff that needs to clear out. It's just a bad mood, you know? Have the lights been flickering in your house lately? Spirit's telling me something about the lights. That the flashing, I don't know, flashing lights. It seems like it's the house, but maybe something else with flashing lights going on with you. Did you get pulled over, maybe? I don't know what the flashing lights are. What is that? Whatever it is, I feel like we're trying to kind of resist that, and that's why we've got another 5. We've got 5, 5, and 5. Okay? Oh, you know what? Mystery card. You almost let me forget the mystery card, Sagittarius. How dare you? Okay, so we're going to do this. We're going to select one random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. I like to put Pamela's name first. We're going to put Alien, Simon Mork, Ripley right there on top. Okay, we got it. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, Sagittarius, so don't even ask. It will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end. If at any point during the reading you feel like you know what that card is, I want you to put your prediction, put your hunch down in the comments. All right? Let's do it together. We're a community, right? Let's make it interactive. Let's exercise our intuition. Yeah. All right, let's look around here. Again, what I'm noticing now is we only have 2 major arcana cards. We've got the Sun, and then we've got the Justice, the Adjustment, the Scales, the Discernment. To me, this is kind of us... well, this is a lot of things. I think this is the card of kind of judging, right? Weighing something against a standard to see if it has any value. And maybe that's part of your heart and mind, the resistance that you feel in your heart and mind right now, is that we're starting to really wonder, does the work I do have any value? Yeah. Is there a good reason to continue doing this, you know? I also feel like with the Adjustment card, or the Justice card, I feel there's a lot in the balance here. And so I mean that like there's a lot at stake. Yeah? And so we kind of have this stress. It's just one of those days. It's one of those bad mood days where we start to wonder, am I any good at this? You know, is there any value at all in what I'm doing? And then it's kind of like, well, there needs to be because there's a lot riding on it. So I feel like this is a really big energy for you, and this is whatever you're involved with. I feel like you put all of your effort into it. Yeah, you put all of your eggs in that basket, and now we really need that basket to, you know, start producing whatever, I don't know, whatever comes out of baskets. Spirit's also telling me to ask about the talent show. Did I ask about the talent show in the last reading for you? It's not the first time that I've been told, ask about the talent show. I kind of think it might have been Sagittarius. Were you in a talent show when you were a kid? Because I feel like you've always been a creative person. I feel like you've always had this solar energy. And what we need to remember about this, like maybe that's what we need to kind of focus on. Remember when you were in the talent show. Remember how fun that was. Remember that, you know, maybe you weren't all that good at what you were doing, but everybody loved it, right? And it felt so good, so fun, so creative to be on that stage doing that thing. And maybe that's the kind of energy that we need to get into right now, rather than whatever the Queen of Pentacles is kind of brooding about. Yeah, whatever they're kind of brooding about. So I feel like there is a connection with that talent show kind of energy for you. There was something else that was coming through, but I was talking and now I'm not getting it again. We'll come back to it anyway. We've got the major arcana. We've got fire, fire, fire. A lot of good fire here, right? We've got some water, interesting water. We've got just our little bit of air and our little bit of earth. So it does feel like we're kind of questioning right now, what is the practical value of what we're doing. Yeah. So it really does feel like kind of a crisis of faith kind of thing almost, you know. And maybe part of this talent show energy too is to just remind us that we're doing it because it's what we do. We're doing it because we love it. And the thing is, with that talent show energy, everybody loved it, even though you thought it didn't go very well. Am I right? And I wonder if that's kind of what's going on now. Do you think that, I don't know what I'm doing, nobody cares, it's just terrible? No, everybody thinks you're doing a fantastic job. No one can see the flaws in it except for you. Right. The other thing about the sun, that's what it was. The air and the water, right? The 5 of Cups and the 5 of Swords, that's just weather. It's just a rainy day. The sun is shining no matter what. Even when you're down in the dumps, even when you're doubting yourself and it's that rainy day, right? The sun is still there and still shining. And when you get to this solar consciousness, which you can and you are and you have and you will, then you realize that everything else is just weather. I can't remember who said that first, but a very wise person, I think, said that or wrote it in a book. Once you get to this kind of stage of enlightenment or personal creative power or self-realization, everything else is just weather. Sometimes the weather really affects us, really interferes with our plans. Sometimes it's raining outside, we can't go out and play, right? And maybe that's one of those days too for you. Maybe there is this delay in things, and it's one of those delays that just kind of puts us in our feelings. We start having these second thoughts and stuff, you know? Like I tell my daughter, on a rainy day or a snowy day, we can have plenty of fun inside. You know, let's create something, let's make a game, let's build a fort, let's cook something, right? Let's do some arts and crafts, let's paint, let's color, let's play music, you know. So I think there are ways for you to be creative and productive. Also, there's an R name coming through. I don't know if it's a younger male energy with R. Robert, Ralph, I don't know. The strong R name. I think it's a younger male person. There are plenty of things that we can do right now to continue being productive, even if our main thing, what we really want to do right now, for some reason there's a delay, or things are shut down, or it's closed, or they're not in for the day, they've taken a vacation, whatever it is. There are plenty of things that we can do, right? And I think the 5 of Wands up here is really that power energy that we feel. It really is saying, hey, let's tap into our solar fire. And instead of being in the kind of 5 of Swords, 5 of Cups, let's turn on the heat. Let's find something that we can do right now, even if it's not insanely productive, but at least will be entertaining. Right? It will at least be something that we can do to kind of create a pleasurable time in our life right now. Okay? And I'm not saying, you know, the last thing that I'm going to say to you when you're in this kind of a mood is, hey, cheer up. Oh, just be happy. No, I don't say that. I don't want anyone saying that to me. And I'm not going to say that to anyone else. You feel the way you feel, and that's fine. You know, we have to feel that. We have to honor our feelings. Let's try not to cling to them. Let's try not to make them worse by the mental energy. We have a 5 of Cups. The 5 of Swords is going to make it worse because we keep thinking about it. We keep dwelling on it. We keep looking at whatever the past was, whatever the Queen of Pentacles is thinking about. Some sort of past events, maybe past relationships. Are you looking at old photographs? Like on your phone, or maybe there's a box or a photo album or something. I wonder if that's the younger male R name. But I feel like that's like, stop looking at them. You know, I feel like it's making you feel worse. But maybe this is a part of the process for you. Maybe that's something that needs to be explored. Maybe you need to have a day here and there where you look through those old photos and you feel how you feel, right? But you still have the power at any moment, at any time, to move back into your solar energy. that creative energy, and start doing things again, start doing, some sort of activities, even if it's just like the indoor activities. Let's just play in the house today. Tomorrow's another day we can go out and do our productive things, or run our errands or whatever, When you were a kid, those days used to be the best days, right? When it was a snow day, you couldn't go to school or something. Where I grew up, we never had snow days. I was at school all the time. I lived in California. San Francisco Bay Area. San Jose, actually, to be specific. But the snow day was fun. You can't go to school and learn and be productive. We can have a lot of fun here. Maybe your parents didn't let you out of the house, but a lot of fun inside. At least we're not at school, right? Let's look at the bright side of things. We get a day that's different, a day off, so to speak. But the 5 here is, I think, us trying to regulate the intensity of the emotions here. We don't want to really turn the heat up too much, and then we just kind of start boiling over this stuff. But you're not trying to turn it off either. This is something that you've got to simmer in this state, right? For whatever reason, if it's something from the past, something with the photographs, you got to feel it. Just keep your hand on the knob on the stove. Don't let it get too hot. Turn it down when it needs to be turned down. Okay? I'm not going to tell you to stop looking at the photographs, right? Because maybe that's something you need to do right now. Okay? The 9 of Wands in the future position. This is strength. This is commitment. This is resolve. Now, did you recently get rid of something related to this person? Still with that R name, the younger male, maybe the photographs. Did you get rid of stuff? I feel like you just recently got rid of, I don't know if it's clothing or something packed into boxes, that you recently got rid of those things, and that kind of puts you in your feelings again over that person, that situation. And that might be the Queen of Pentacles here. Feeling a certain way, really getting into those emotions because of something that happened on the physical plane, like the giving away or the donating or the throwing away of stuff, right? Something like that. Okay. But the 9 of Wands, still in the future position, real strength, real commitment. This is you understanding and really knowing, there's no doubt about this, that you will get back to your productive days, right? This is just 1 or 2 days probably that are snow days, right? Rainy days, let's say. And that's all right. And you know that in a day or two, you're going to be right back to that kind of solar, productive, good idea machine that you are. And it's pretty cool. We still have a lot of fire in the reading today. There's still a lot of ambition. We don't really have the connection with Earth. I think the Earth is just, it's kind of rainy. There's just a little bit of water on there. So it's not, we're not making that kind of connection, that act of creation, spiritual manifestation circuit that we usually do. There's a little bit of the water and air that's kind of, resisting some of that, the natural flow of this fire. And that's okay. Now, I don't know, maybe are you an artist? I don't know if this is one of those days where some days you just don't paint, right? Or some days you just don't write. Some days you just don't, create, whatever it is that you create. And it kind of feels, like I said, that these days are necessary for you to process, to feel these feelings again. And that's kind of like to reharmonize yourself, and then it's like you become a better painter. You know what I mean? Or a poet, or a writer, or whatever you do. Whatever you do. It doesn't have to be those kind of straightforward artistic things, anything. Also, are you prone to fainting spells? Because sometimes the 9 of Wands gives me this impression of like a sudden drop of blood pressure, like the orthostatic hypotension or something like that. Because I kind of feel like in these kinds of states where you kind of have to rest. You kind of have to just have a rainy day and just relax and look at your photographs and do this thing. Trying to do too much right now feels like it'll kind of knock you out, you know? I don't know if it's fainting or if it's something with the blood pressure, right? I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not diagnosing. Listen to your healthcare professional. Take the medication as it's prescribed. All that stuff, right? I feel like this is more related to some of this emotional energy, but I feel like it's something that, you know, maybe you do have like a history of fainting, or you've got a history of low blood pressure or something like that, right? It's weird to have a low blood pressure for a Sagittarius, but maybe that's kind of maybe there's something to that. I don't know. Just keep that in mind. We're going to go over to the path of the serpent now, where we see a lot of fire, water, all right? And as we do this, I'd like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do, totally free, doesn't cost you anything. And it's really helpful to the channel, and I really appreciate that. We're almost at 200K, right? Let's keep going. Let's get there, right? It's for all of us. I never thought this channel would grow as it's been growing, and it's really because of all of you. And that's why I say every day that you are the most important part of this channel, and I appreciate you. All right, Ace of Wands. This is getting back to it. This is taking the initiative. This is the kind of the waking up from this. I don't even know what to call it. I'm calling it the rainy day. Right, waking up from this rainy day and getting back to it. And whether this is just like during this kind of rainy day, we're going to find other ways to have a good time, right? But this is really, like, I'm not worried about you, right? Because you still have this intense awareness. You're very much conscious and alert and lucid and very much in control of your faculties, right? I'm not worried about you in any way. I feel like this is kind of part of your creative process even. And it might be a way for you to really tap into your emotions, which then, once they harmonize, they act as that kind of perfect conductor of that spiritual, creative electricity, right? And that's really the Ace of Wands here. So I know that you're going to get back to it. You know, I know that nothing really is going to slow you down. But for today, let's understand the process of creation on the emotional plane. And I think you do. I think you know that by looking at these photographs, if that's what the thing is, that you're creating a certain mood. You're almost invoking a certain emotional state, an emotion tone, a feeling tone in your life right now. And just know that at any moment, you can choose to turn this, what might be a melancholy or a sadness, you can turn it into joy and pleasure and happiness at any moment, because you understand the process. You understand how to invoke certain emotional states. Yeah. I think it is a skill that you very much have and that you're very much aware of. I'm still getting a connection with Italian food. And I think this might have been from the last Sagittarius reading. Maybe it's for a different sign, but the Italian food kind of theme is coming through again. And I don't know if it's a favorite restaurant, if it's meant to just, maybe it's meant to suggest that you should treat yourself, take yourself out to a nice restaurant, or if with this R name person, if there was a favorite restaurant for the two of you, if maybe that's where you met or that's where you'd always kind of go or hang out or something. There's a connection there, and I don't know if it's part of your looking at the photographs, visiting the places that you used to go with them, that sort of thing, to kind of invoke that emotion tone, that feeling tone, right? And I think that might be kind of part of that. Yeah. The Two of Wands we've got next. That's kind of the energy that we don't want. You know, we want our will to be one and not two. And so this is the energy that we don't want. This is the card we don't want. This is the obstacle, and this is really, when you feel this Two of Wands approaching, that's when you know it's time to really take hold of things and switch gears, right? Because you want your will, you want your consciousness to be one, not two. This is the path you're on, the ace. When you feel it kind of starts shifting into a different energy or a different path, then you have to turn it off. And what this means is when you feel that you're sinking into this rainy day, at a certain point you realize that you're sinking too far. Okay, time to switch it, right? Time to adjust the burner there. And that really is kind of a feeling. You know when that is. You know when it's time. Yeah. So I feel like this is something that you invoke, that you immerse yourself in, and then you take it to a certain limit, and then you get out of there. And then you kind of you invoke a different kind of emotion, feeling, tone. Does that make sense? And I feel like you know when it starts to get to that point. And it's kind of that point where it's almost gone too far that you're not going to be able to get out of it. When we sink too low in our sadness, it starts to border on depression, to the point where our will to create, to succeed, to work, to do what we do starts to go the other way, and we just think, I don't even care about that anymore. It's like one step away from just giving this whole thing up. And that's when you really know that it's time to, adjust the knob there on the stove. Yeah. But I trust you. And like I said, I'm not worried about you. I feel like this is something that you do to really stay in contact, because see, this is the moon card, or the moon in the Nine of Wands. There's the sun and the moon connected. And I feel like that's what gives you strength, is that you have that connection with your feelings, with your memories, with your inner self, your inner life, with your past, with who you are and what has meaning for you. That's what allows you to be such a powerful creator, right? So to me, this feels like it's all part of the process. And of course, we have another Five of Cups, or we have the Five of Cups at the end, right? And that, again, reinforces to me that it's kind of fire, water, that this is something that's going to happen again. This is just a cycle. This happens every once in a while. And whether it might not be something that you intentionally invoke, but I think once you start looking at the photographs, then you start thinking about it more. You start looking at more photographs. Maybe you get out the old handwritten letters. I feel like you still have a lot of those saved. Yeah. So I feel like all that stuff kind of comes out. You go to the restaurant again, or if it's the coffee shop that you used to go to with that person. I feel like it just more kind of things, you start doing more of those things until that moment where you realize, okay, that's enough. I'm going back to work, right? And I think it's going to happen again, right? But it's not something that we reject. It's not something that it's like, I wish this didn't happen to me. No, it's like you're okay with it happening because it keeps you connected. Yeah, does that make sense? I hope it does. Let's look at the mystery card. Let's see what's going on here with this one. I want to see some earth energy. Absolutely. A 9 or a 10 of Pentacles. I don't know, maybe a 3 of Pentacles to go with our 3 of Cups. If we got the 5 of Pentacles, that would be pretty cool, just because then we'd have all 5, or all 4 of the 5s, which I think would be pretty good. Now, another thing coming through with the 5 of Wands, did the two of you, now I don't want to just assume that this is somebody that has passed or has transcended their earthly frame, okay? But if that is the case, I almost feel like you had an argument with them right before they passed. Yeah. And something's coming through that says, they don't care. It's fine. Like, don't worry about it. They know that it wasn't serious. They know that it's just okay, It's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. Let's look at the mystery card. Yes, I want my earth energy. If you have a prediction, put it down in the comments. Oh, the Judgment card. Maybe this is the alarm clock that is telling you it's time to wake up now. Yeah. Maybe this is the prompt that you wait for from Spirit to just say, okay, enough of this. I'm going back to work, right? That we've been in this rainy day energy for a minute, and it's time to get up and go somewhere else, you know. This is a person that passed. I wonder if there was something with their blood or their circulation that was wrong. They had, I don't know if it was a chronic condition or like an inherited thing, right? Something genetic maybe. Anyway, I don't know what to think about this reading just yet. We're going to do an extended reading, though. I would like to hear from you. Just check in. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know if this is resonating with you. The extended reading, you can click either up here or down below in the video description if you want to watch the extended. New readings for Sagittarius, usually Wednesday and Sunday. This is a bonus reading just for you, okay? And I think it's an important one. It may not be as cheerful as the last one that we did for you, but I think this is really necessary for you to hear. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Totally free. Doesn't cost you anything. Leave a comment for me. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.